Ambassador Zethkri's four eyes rolled in exasperation as he reviewed the human delegation's proposal on his crystalline datapad. Around the circular chamber of the Galactic Council, representatives from 37 species murmured their agreement with his assessment. "Honored Council," Zethkri announced, his voice carrying the authority of the hegemony's most senior diplomat. "These humans request membership based on what they call technological innovation. Yet their fastest vessels barely achieve 0.3C. Their energy systems rely on primitive fusion, and they have not even mastered gravitational manipulation." The human ambassador, a small female named Sarah Chen, stood calmly at the center of the chamber. Her dark eyes held a curious glint as she listened to the criticisms. "The Vextai Collective has ships that fold space-time," continued the amphibious delegate from Sector 7. "The crystalline Dominion harvests energy directly from stellar cores. What do humans offer that justifies membership in this august body?" Sarah stepped forward. "We offer perspective, Councillor Vextai, and perhaps a demonstration of human ingenuity that your censors might have overlooked." Zethkri's mandibles clicked in amusement. "Demonstration? Child, our deep space sensors have cataloged every human installation within 50 light-years of your homeworld. Orbital platforms, asteroid mining stations, your quaint lunar colonies, all primitive by Council standards." "Have you cataloged everything?" Sarah asked, her smile never wavering. "The ethereal high-mind Yis-Andra, a being of pure energy contained within a shimmering force field, pulsed with curiosity." "Explain, human." Sarah tapped her wrist communicator. "Luna Base, this is Ambassador Chen. Authorization Omega-7. Awaken the fortress." The chamber's massive viewing screen flickered to life, displaying the local solar system. Earth sat peacefully in its orbit, surrounded by the scattered lights of human civilization. Then something extraordinary happened. What every species, sensors had registered as Luna, Earth's natural satellite, began to change. Massive sections of the lunar surface split apart like flower petals, revealing structures beneath that gleamed with impossible geometries. Colossal weapons arrays emerged from hidden bays, their crystalline focusing chambers pulsing with contained stellar energy. Propulsion systems that bent local space-time activated, lifting the entire construct from its orbital position. The moon was not a moon. It was a fortress. "Impossible," breathed Zethkri, his four eyes widening in shock. "Our gravitational sensors showed a natural celestial body. Mass readings indicated common silicate composition." "Gravitational masking," Sarah replied casually. "We've been using controlled micro-singularities to disguise the fortress's true mass signature for the past 2 centuries. Your sensors read exactly what we wanted them to read." The viewing screen zoomed in, revealing the full scope of the construction. The fortress was a masterwork of defensive engineering, not the crude metal constructions the Council expected from humans, but something far more elegant. Living metal flowed like water across its hull, self-repairing and adaptive. Energy conduits pulsed with harvested dark matter, channeling power that made stellar cores look like candle flames. "The construction materials," whispered the silicon-based delegate from the reef worlds. "Those are not in any of our databases." "Programmable matter," Sarah explained. "We discovered how to convince atoms they could be something else. Hydrogen thinks it's titanium, carbon believes it's exotic matter. Reality is surprisingly flexible when you know how to ask nicely." Councillor Vexitai's tentacles writhed with agitation. "The energy readings are unprecedented. What powers this thing?" "We learned to tickle the quantum foam," Sarah said with a grin. "Turns out the universe has a sense of humor. Every cubic centimeter of space-time contains enough zero-point energy to power a star for 1 billion years. We just figured out how to make it laugh." The fortress completed its transformation, now revealed in its full glory. Weapon systems that could crack planets hummed with restrained power. Shield generators created defensive barriers that existed partially outside normal space-time, making them effectively impenetrable. Most disturbing of all, the entire structure seemed to be thinking. quantum processing cores distributed throughout. Its structure gave it a consciousness that spanned dimensions. High mind Ysandra pulsed with what might have been respect. How long has this existed? 300 years, Sarah replied. We started building it when we first detected your civilizations. Seemed prudent to have a backup plan. Zethkri's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. You built this while we considered you primitive? We built this because you considered us primitive, Sarah corrected. You see, humans have a peculiar trait. The more dangerous our situation becomes, the more creative we get. And being surrounded by spacefaring civilizations that saw us as insignificant? Well, that felt pretty dangerous. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Every species present had made the same error. They had judged humanity by their visible technology, never considering what might be hidden. The fortress is just the beginning, Sarah continued conversationally. We have installations that exist between dimensions, ships that travel through time instead of space, and AIs that think with quantum entanglement instead of mere computation. We've been busy. Counselor Vexitai's voice trembled. What do you want from us? Sarah's expression softened. Partnership, trade, cultural exchange, the same things we've always wanted. The fortress isn't a threat, it's insurance. We'd rather make friends, but we're prepared for other possibilities. The viewing screen shifted, showing the fortress powering down its weapons and returning to its disguised lunar orbit. Within minutes, it looked like an ordinary moon again. The question, Sarah said, addressing the stunned assembly, is whether the council is ready to accept that maybe, just maybe, there's more than one way to reach for the stars. Zethkri stared at the now innocent-looking moon on the screen. When he spoke, his voice carried newfound respect. The council recognizes humanity's petition for membership. All in favor? 37 appendages, tentacles, and energy pulses voted unanimously. As Sarah walked toward the exit, she paused and turned back to the assembly. Oh, and counselors, next time you want to scan someone's home system, you might want to check if their moon is waving back. Behind her, Luna's surface briefly flickered, with massive text spelled out in city-sized letters, "Hello there." The galaxy had just learned its first lesson about humanity. Never underestimate a species that treats impossibility as a suggestion.